Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. Well, I'm delighted to be on the show. It's Peter Martin, Alan Ruff, Tam McManus, and of course Barry Ferguson. And by the way, doesn't he look magnificent? Tam, look at Fergie. There you are, Tam. There's the Ned years. There they are, exactly as you wanted them. Doesn't he look magnificent there?
Yep, wee bowl cut there. Bottle of Buckfast in a soak. Like to fight people. That is Ferguson, the Ned years.
No, it was. Can I correct you? It wasn't Buckfast. It was Ice Dragon, Tam. Ice Dragon.
That is sensational, isn't it?
I've heard. Listen, great. I'm like a fine wine. I'm a mature with age.
You have absolutely, yeah. It's. I think it looks great, Robbie, when you look back in old photographs. Do you not?
What age are you there? What age are you in
17.
That one?
17.
Yeah, it's a great photograph, Barry. Anyway, great to have you on. We've got lots of things to talk about on the programme. Of course, because obviously Tam had mentioned that he wants more extensive stuff to talk about over the course of the next 3 hours. So we've given him as much as we can. By the way, Mick Preston has joined us quickly. He's one of the first on today. He's from Kuwait. So he's over there in Kuwait. Mick, great to have you on. We love all the additional names. Kenny Taylor's there, Nicky Twig, William Beck, of course, Dave McCann, Niall Kane, Elizabeth, you're with me, Triantafilu. Welcome along, Elizabeth. You're always there with us. Tam Lee, Lachlan Gald, George Urquhart as well. Hi, guys, in Perth. So, George, we're delighted that you can join us, as well as Lindsay Buchanan. Lindsay, hopefully you like your T-shirt, one of the many people who are on our shop buying the Classic Legends T-shirts, these unique T-shirts from, of course, Jim Scullion, the artist. And also Charlie Richardson is in Wellingborough. I always like to give a wee mention, Ruffy, of the places that people are watching the programme, because it's great to give them a little name check.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing, you know, that with technology is something I'm not clued up on, but for people to be tuning in for Thailand and New Zealand, it's absolutely incredible.
Why do you keep mentioning Thailand? You always mention Thailand, Ruffy.
Yeah.
What's your favourite destination?
It's always a place you have good memories at, you know. And they stick in your mind, you know.
Yeah, well, absolutely they do. Yeah, and with that in mind, Jeff has just emailed us from Thailand. Could you phone him now? Yeah. So there you are. Still 2 payments left. So that's fantastic, Ruffy. Anyway,
that Jeff that used to be.
Don't go there. I knew you were going to do that. Honestly, you're such a moron of the highest order. Anyway, apart from anything else, great to have so many people on our YouTube channel where you can subscribe. It's absolutely free, and you also can like, share and follow us on our Facebook too. Simple as that. So hopefully with a bit of luck, we'll hear from Paul Ritchie as well. He's out there in California, and I'm telling you, he looks bronzed. I caught up with him earlier today. Life has been good to Paul Ritchie, who played with Hearts. Didn't play too many games for Rangers. I don't think Dick Advocaat fancied him all that much after he'd signed him. It was one of those situations with signing him and then doing exactly what he did with Colin Hendry. You know, he became a squad player. It was a hard shift for him, but he's a great lad. I've known him since his Hearts days, and that brings me nicely to Harry Fitzpatrick, who's in Ontario in Canada, and he says, any chance, Peter, you can shut up about the Hearts? I'm sick of hearing you talking about the Hearts. So clearly there's a real feeling on here, Ruffy, that I'm a mad jambo. It's as simple as that.
Well, I think it was just for the early days where you stated your opinion that they're too big a club to fall out of the big division, because a lot of the other clubs, you know, rely on clubs with big support to put money into the coffers.
Yeah, trust us to lose Roughie just as he was saying something worthwhile in the last 8 years. That's unbelievable, Tam. You know, just as he was about to say something like groundbreaking. Anyway, we're going to bring him in on the basis that coming up right now and happening right now in court, Tam, is quite simply this situation where Cove Rangers, Dundee United and Wraith have a QC in there defending their case that they should have promotion, and also highlighting the fact that the court in Edinburgh should be kicking out Hearts and Partick Thistle's claim that their relegation is unfair, unjust, and should not be allowed to happen. Now, with that in mind, Tam, we have a situation where the lawyer has quoted the rules of association, says that Hearts and Partick Thistle haven't followed them by informing the SFA that they were going to go to court, and secondary to that, Article 99 in the rules of association as well says that this should go to arbitration at the SFA and should not be in court. Now, this is just the opening argument. Obviously, there's going to be counter arguments, but it's getting tasty.
Yeah, it was getting tasty when we spoke about it for a couple of weeks. Today's finally came today. I think it was 11 o'clock this morning. You know, I'm still of a firm opinion that it will get settled out of court. You know, I've spoke about it for a couple of weeks. I don't think they've got a case for reinstating Hearts and Partick Thistle, but I think they've got a serious case for compensation. So I think there'll be a wee bit of to and fro maybe over the next week or two, and then something will get settled out of court, because if it drags on, and obviously Hearts have got the option of invoking that article that could stop the restarting of the season, which would be a disaster for the clubs here. So I'm hoping it doesn't get to that stage, Peter, and you know, everybody gets settled in an appropriate manner and something that suits them in terms of compensation.
Well, if this goes against Hearts and Partick Thistle, Roughie, it could be on the basis that the interpretation, remember, it's not, you know, more often than not, it never deals with the injustice. It deals at the moment we're dealing with the practicalities of protocol, you know, the technicalities of the rules and what's been followed, what should have done, what should have happened. So, you know, Hearts and Partick Thistle might find themselves kicked out of a court case going to arbitration, which the QC today says there's more than enough time to go to arbitration with the SFA if you lose this battle.
Yeah, well, I think Hearts and Partick Thistle have obviously been advised by their QCs as well. So their QCs will be telling them that they're going down the right road and they've not broken any rules. So I don't think Anne Budge and Jackie would go foolishly into that kind of scenario. And I think since this pandemic started, this particular rule book has went out of the window because there's lots of things in the rule book that has been thrown out, and other things have made up other rules to push things through and things like that. But I'm not going to go into the legal side of it. And I've said all along, Peter, and Jackie Lowe said it as well, if we lose this, we'll just get on with it. We'll just go into the division and we'll do what we always do. We're not going to start causing all. If it goes against us, it goes against us. And we'll just deal with it, and we'll do our best to get back up to where we were. This whole thing is all about not walking away from it and putting up a fight. And I think if you listen to all the other clubs, if it was, say, Morton or St Mirren or whatever, every one of them, a man has said, we'd be doing the same. If it had been us, we'd be doing it as well. You know, and anybody you talk to, Peter, I mean, we all agree it's an injustice. Any pundit you talk to, ex-footballer, anybody in the game talk to, says it's terrible, this is that, should be done, this should be done. It's just incredible that we've got to where we are. So I don't think they should have walked away. And to be fair to Anne Budge, right from day one, Anne Budge said, I'm warning you, this is going to court. If you go down the road, you're going down. So she's not as if she just thought it up and thrown it into everybody's faces.
Yeah, well, I think, D-Day is fast approaching, and hopefully we get it. I think hopefully we get it resolved in some sort of favour towards Hearts, Partick Thistle and Stranraer. Although I like the point that David Southern, the former chief executive, I think, of Dundee United and Hearts, mentioned, doesn't want to hear from any of the clubs who are showing sympathy now towards Hearts and Partick Thistle, because it's just crocodile tears. These are the clubs that put the boot into them in the first place, and I agree with his sentiment on that. Although, Roughie, when you did say there that you didn't want to get into the legal side of things there, you were avoiding that. I thought to myself, wow, if Roughie starts talking about the legal side of things, Barry, you'll need to come round here and resuscitate me, because then we know the game's a bogey. If Roughie starts talking
Barry,
legal, we're all
no, Barry, Barry and Tam know if we start doing legal things, you start shouting at us.
Yes. It was but Barry, I've never met, and believe me, I've got experience of guys like Roughie. When Rangers were going into administration, I've never met so many footballers, ex-footballers as well, who suddenly became the best accountants in the world and were starting to lecture, people on the finances of clubs and what was actually happening when they did not have a Scooby. What was happening, and the reason why I was so clued up on it is because every day I had to phone the guy from PricewaterhouseCoopers because he knew what was happening, because he knows exactly what it's like. Commenting on certain things puts the fear of God into me. But nevertheless, Barry, I think the sentiments we're all talking about now is we're getting pretty close to it, whether it's arbitration or in court. I hope Tam is right in this. I hope we get a situation where Hearts, Partick Thistle and Stranraer get enough money to say, okay, listen, it's unfair, but here's compensation. Yep. Let's move on.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was last week or a week before Tam had mentioned that hopefully it doesn't go to court, it's went to court, but there's still time, Peter. Look, I feel for Hearts and Partick and Stranraer. I do. I think it was unjust what happened. But listen, I think it's going to happen that they're going to go into the leagues below. Let's just compensate them. Let's sort it out of court and let's get the football back up and running and then settle down and hopefully back into a season of good football again.
Yeah, the fixtures are out on Monday, which gets everybody excited. Hi to Franny Weldon, who says, afternoon from Portessie up north. Do you know where Portessie is, Roughie?
So, that's a new one on me, that one, yeah.
Must have done a gig up there, Roughie.
No, I was just about to say, yeah. Portessie, Portessie, up north. Franny, I've never heard that before. I'm going to look it up because there's always sorts of people giving us different places where they are. Hi to the Night Legion, Willie Gibson, Brendan O'Gara, Joseph Byrne as well, Gary McKean. There's lots of people who are joining us on YouTube. And this one is Sean Russell, who says, I know this is about Scottish football, this show, but all the best to Wigan Athletic. Sean, we're actually going to talk about that as well because, of course, Wigan Athletic are in administration. And that might open the floodgates for people to try and cherry pick some of their players. And we'll talk about one of the players in particular in the next couple of minutes. So anyway, we've dealt with the Partick Thistle Hearts as it stands at the moment. We'll hear from Paul Ritchie on Hearts with, in particular, the re-signing of Craig Gordon and, of course, Robbie Nielsen as the manager as well. Dundee United looking to make an announcement at the weekend. I've been following this and chatting to the people at Dundee United, Barry. Looks as if Steve McLaren is out of the running for that one. I would suggest that might be down to money more than anything else. But I think, my gut feeling, I've got a sneaky suspicion that they're warming to Malky Mackay. And if not, they certainly don't want someone who is too close and too immersed in Scottish football. I think they're either looking for a kind of a clean break and a fresh approach, or obviously Malky. And Malky, I think, is in the box seat because of his Premier League experience in England.
That could be a worry, Peter, if they go for somebody out with Scottish football that doesn't know it inside out. We've seen that with plenty of managers. You just need to look at Hearts, who brought somebody up for Barnsley, and he struggled in the 6 or so months he was there. I keep going back to that. Obviously, totally rules out who I think would be perfect for the job. Their first season back in the Premier League, after being out it for a number of years, he would settle them in, and that would be Tommy Wright. So that obviously rules Tommy out. So the next one in place, obviously with Steve McLaren, ruling himself out. And I agree with you, I think that would come down to finances. He'd be used to a certain salary since he's become a manager. So I never really thought that would get off the ground. So the next one in place is Malky, who in the past 18 months, 2 years, been back up and working for the SFA. And as we spoke about it on Monday, Peter, the jobs that he was at before, he'd done a really good job. So that would be a wise choice.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's told me Portessie is in Bucky, Roughie. Have you been in Bucky?
Thistle. Yeah, I've definitely been in Bucky, yeah. Yeah, I've been up there. I just must be a wee village just to the east or the west of it.
How did the gig go up
Yeah, I
there,
know.
Roughie?
Yeah, it was
Bucky,
a
great people up
Good
there at
off.
Bucky.
Aye. Aye.
Bucky,
Yeah.
Elgin, now my relatives were at the Elgin do. I've got a lot of relatives up in that neck of the woods due to the Second World War.
Wow, so Germany declared war on Bucky as well. That's amazing, Roughie. I didn't know that.
No.
And of course,
So that's
I know
what,
Sam
that's
knows.
what a lot of the family planted up during the war, Second World War.
They fled, did you say there, to Bucky?
No, decanted. They were decanted up to the Highlands. A lot of families for safety.
Okay. An unusual choice of word for you, Roughie, decanted. usually,
I thought that
usually
was,
the only thing.
And that's-
the only thing,
Put your
the
wine
only
in.
thing he
And that-
decants is
Aye,
wine.
I'm just about to say
but,
that.
Yes, and that's why some of us have got relatives up in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Thanks,
reading
Roughie.
Ruffy's mind. Don't just stay on. I honestly, it's telepathy now.
There's
with him,
something
I can
coming.
tell. Absolutely.
Nope.
But and the other thing is, Tam knows all about Bucky because he's from East Kilbride and he drinks quite a lot of it. The other thing I was going to say to you is thanks for that, telling us where Portesi is. This is a story that won't go away, and it's just sometimes it's worth chatting about rumours. Always like a wee bit of gossip, Barry. But one thing that I'm hearing more and more is a lot of people saying they're hearing, big news coming out of Ibrox that Graham Souness could be joining the board. That would be an interesting one. That's great news if he's bringing money with him.
Yeah, I seen that yesterday. I got a few text messages from my mates saying that was getting spoke about, that Souness would be coming back up. Listen, I very much doubt it, Peter. He's got a cushy job on Sky Sports, and I don't think he would want to come up with the pressures of Rangers again. So I can't see that happening. I think Douglas has just took over, and I think he'll be in that hot seat for a number of years yet.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting for a minute that he was going to be the chairman, but there was wee rumours of possibly just coming on to the board. So it's one of those ones. It's always nice to get a wee bit of gossip ahead of the start of the season, gets everybody excited. Now, apart from anything else, lots of other things. We're going to hear from Mo Elyounoussi on his decision to accept a loan deal another year at Celtic. This is a guy who was bought by Southampton for £16 million. So clearly he's back for a year. He's delighted to be back for a year, and he mentioned first and foremost he's back there to help the squad try and get 10 in a row.
For what I've heard, it never happened before. Just got to know yesterday that Rangers as well have done 9 in a row, but never 10. So I'm sure all the other teams going to do everything to stop us this season. That's why we even more motivated, even more sharper in training and everything we do to make sure that we, hopefully can win the 10th.
And as you can see there, Tam, 3 stripes that you have on today, and Celtic getting everybody wearing the merchandise. And I've noticed Rangers have put out a fabulous ad as well, just getting everybody excited about buying strips. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes if your club comes up with a new strip, you get excited, you want to go out and buy it. And I know, Roughie, the Partick Thistle have got theirs out as well. Lots of people I've seen on social media buying the strips.
Yeah. Yes, I think every club likes a new strip at the beginning of the season. It's the supporters bring in a lot of money. We saw quite a lot of money that Rangers were losing with the deal that they had with Ashley, so they'll be welcoming the new strip coming in, and 40,000 season tickets. That these strips will fly out the door, as which most of the other clubs would be as well, because everybody, particularly the youngsters, they all like the new strip and the one that's up to date.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you like your new strip, Tam?
Yeah, this is an old one. This is an old one. I will be Colorado, but listen, the strips are cracking. I've seen the new Celtic strip. Adidas is always a good make. Adidas and Nike, they're always their 2 benchmarks, and the Rangers kit as well looks quite smart as well. So no, listen, it's an exciting time. Once the strips come out, you can smell the new grass getting cut. The new season, and it's right round the corner. And hopefully we get to start it on time, because everybody's desperate to get Scottish football back. I don't know about yours, but just the English football's not doing it for me. Watching that, and you can't beat the blood and snotters of the Scottish game. I love the game up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yesterday, would you believe it, guys? I even started watching a rewind, Roughie, of Martina Navratilova against Chris Evert. I don't know about you, Roughie, and I digress slightly, but Chris Evert was, when you were a wee boy, that was the dream girl in tennis. I just thought she was magnificent. Who was yours, Billie Jean King?
No, Steffi Graf.
Oh, that was
Steffi
mine. I'm
Graf.
just about to say that.
Steffi
Yeah.
Graf.
It wasn't
What
Anna
about-
Kournikova.
Yeah.
It was
Anna
back
Kournikova.
when you
she's
say her
all right.
name.
She was terrible. She was terrible at tennis, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
Steffi Graf was brilliant. Steffi Graf. Is she not married to Agassi?
Yep,
I
she
think
is
so,
indeed.
Aye.
Yeah. Tam, are you, was Kournikova yours? Obviously, you bought the calendar. That's why you're telling us that, yeah?
No, she was
There
aye. But she was rubbish at tennis, right enough, wasn't she? She was awful.
Yeah.
She was ranked about
Yep,
300 in the world,
absolutely.
but she probably made about 30 million in calendars and merchandise and all that. And she married Enrique Iglesias, his son. So
Is
she's
that
all right
right?
for herself.
See,
Yeah.
that's why I love.
Learn
That's
something
why I
every
love
day in
Tam
this
on
show.
the show. Do you know what you always get? You always get it's like the wee snippets from the Heat magazine. That's what Tam's here for. The gloss, the wee magazine stuff that we don't
That's my
read.
wife's, all my
He
wife's
gives us it.
smags. We don't gossip.
That's exactly it. Fantastic. I'm well happy with that. Of course, the other aspect of this story that El Yunusi was talking about when we were talking about Celtic and their new strip is quite simply that he's back from Southampton. But what about Fraser Forster? Well, some people suggesting the door is firmly closed. El Yunusi, not so sure yet.
It would be great for us to have him for another year, obviously, but we just have to wait and see what he decides to do. I have talked to him, he's not sure yet what he's going to do. Hopefully, he comes back here.
It looks as if the money, Tam, is just going to close that door on Foster. Suddenly now, Wigan are in administration, and another name, an old Celt in David Marshall, has been mooted, as well as Joe Hart. I'm sure they're looking at other candidates.
Listen, Fraser Forster was always going to be a big ask for Celtic. If Southampton have got people willing to buy him, they're going to get 10, 15 million pounds for him. They're not going to send him to Celtic again on loan. They'll cash in, they'll get the money for him. There's rumours Chelsea were looking at him as well. So top-class goalkeeper. Joe Hart, I think, is a bit of a nonsense. I don't think Celtic can afford him either, to be honest with you. I think that's maybe a red herring in there to try and force Southampton's hand in terms of Forster. I don't think Joe Hart's a goer at all for Celtic. And then you go to David Marshall, who I think Wigan, in a bit of financial trouble. I think he is in Celtic's price bracket, knows the club, good experienced goalkeeper. I think he would definitely be one I think that would be well within Celtic's range of getting, and he knows the club inside out. So I think David Marshall would be a good signing for Celtic.
Strange situation, isn't it, Barry? Some people just, the old boys coming back the way at the tail end of their career. I mean, not that I'm suggesting for a minute that by coming back that they're inferior, because Alan McGregor's proved that he's every bit as good a goalkeeper as he was when he left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I think Marsh has improved big time, Peter, since he's left to go to down south. I really like him. He's come into Scotland as well. When he's played with Scotland, he's proven that he's a top goalkeeper. So I don't think that would be a bad signing for Celtic, if I'm being honest with you. As I said, he's gained a lot of experience over the years, Peter. He's played at the highest level in football. So if Foster, which I think is a major blow to Celtic, if they can't get him, I think Marshall would be a great backup.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Who would you take? Foster or Marshall or Hart? It's all that kind of dilemma. Give us your thoughts on that. Andy Wilson says he'd take Gabriella Sabatini. There's a name I never thought I'd mention on this show, Roughie, another former tennis player.
Yes.
See, once we start things like that, people start coming up with names. But nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see what player suddenly emerges for the goalkeeping position, and what other players are going to be coming in at your club. Give us your thoughts on it. We dealt with a little bit of gossip there, and Graham Souness possibly coming back to the board. That would be interesting. One of them, I think it was James McCratchy, said, I don't think he'd risk his name by coming back up here. I think he risked his name, Barry, when he took over at Liverpool. Yeah,
look, he's a type of guy. Look, I've played under him, Peter, and I got to know him pretty well, he wouldn't care. He wouldn't care. But I just think he's at a stage in his life where he's comfy. As I said, he's got a good gig on Sky, and I think he enjoys that. So I can't see him coming back up north.
Barry, what was you like as a manager?
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Aye.
Very, very tough. Very, very straight. Some of the stuff that he says in the dressing room, I was a wee bit wow. But I see as a player, I didn't mind getting criticised and a manager being straight, but at times he was very straight, and some players didn't take to it. If he didn't like you, you knew, and I like that. I like that. If you're in a dressing room or you're in a squad and the manager doesn't fancy you, you're out the door with him. But coaching wise, he was great. I enjoyed his coaching. Real motivator, and do you know what? Some of just a couple of wee snippets I learnt off him on the training pitch. Because let's be honest, one of the best midfielders Scotland's ever produced.
Did he still play and train and all that? Was he still involved? Did he take part?
He had a wee kick about.
He smashed Dwight York. I think Dwight York said they try and do him.
Aye, he two-fitted him. Aye, typical soonest tackle. Yeah, I think he was trying to get Yorkie and Andy Cole at the club at the time. So I think the only way to get Yorkie at the club was to two-fit him. I thought it was a wonderful manager.
Did that come as a surprise to you, Barry, when he two-footed him? Did it come as a surprise to you because it was on the way out to the training ground?
It was in the canteen before we even started training.
Did he have a wee go at you?
A few times. Yeah. The first couple of games, Peter, I never really. I played all right, but I was nothing really special. And he turned around. I think it was after the third or the fourth game. I can't remember exactly. And he says, "I think I've wasted my money on you." That was it. He just looked at me. I was like, "All right, thanks, mate." So, me being me, I made sure, come in on Monday, I trained like an absolute beast throughout the week. And then on the Saturday, I went out and proved them wrong. But I didn't mind that. That kicked me on again. That gave me a kick up the backside I needed. And I liked that as a player, Peter.
Yeah, it's funny you saying that, by the way. Sometimes, you get managers who have great motivators. It reminds me of, Bill Shankly, actually, Roughie, who went into the dressing room after one of the games he just signed. I think it was Alec Lindsay, and said to him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, what do you mean, boss?" He says, "What are you doing out there?" He says, I can't believe your performance." He says, "Well, that's not really my position." He says, "I'm a left back." Bill Shankly looked at his assistant and says, "We've signed the wrong bloody player." Anything just to blow your confidence, eh?
Another thing I will say about him, Peter, when you have Tam tell you when the manager comes in about 1:45 to do the team meeting, you stand up and take notice. He's got that aura about him when he walks in. There's nobody who's looking at the floor. You're totally focused on him. The way he spoke, he demanded attention, and I liked that. You could see he was a big character. And I remember him as a player. He was exactly the same as a manager. Just demanded all the time. If you never produced, you weren't in the team. It didn't matter how much you cost.
Yeah, my
manager,
mate has.
What's that?
Sam?
You've got to have the fear factor as a manager. I've played under managers who didn't have that. You don't want to let the guys down, I think, and you're scared to have a bad game in case you get a rollicking after the game. In some managers, you think, oh no, as soon as you're walking off the park, you think you're going to get it off the manager. I think you've got to have that as a manager, rather than coming in and no caring. The manager comes in and doesn't say it to you after a poor game. You think you can get away with it. I've played under a lot of managers who could get away with murder.
It was the type of manager that you wanted to go out and play for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I enjoyed playing. He gave you that bit before the game, but as I said, if you were coming in at half time, you weren't playing well, you get told. You get told straight.
Yeah.
You've got another 5 or 10 minutes, or you're off. I don't mind that. My
old schoolmate Jim has just sent us a text there, Roughie, just saying, "Yep, that's like That's like our old school teacher who took the school team, Mr. Lunny. He was like Soonest. So clearly a little bit scared of him. I remember him very well, Jim. Lots of people sending us lots of great messages. Gary McGurn says, Peter, when is the doubles game getting played? Will it be filmed? And I can tell you right now, I've spoken to a number of people who all work for PLZ Soccer, and the entire match will be filmed. It's looking at this moment as if it could be a 3 or 4 camera broadcast with slow-mos as well, just to get some of the shots that Barry and Tam play in the doubles match, Roughie, when they serve underhand. So that's going to be great, by the way, Roughie, when we see the two of them.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting on Nicola Sturgeon saying that doubles can take part. It's obviously just singles just now. But I think we're getting nearer and nearer to doubles happening on the court. So yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm seriously looking forward to it.
I know you're working on your fitness, Barry.
Yeah, you've got to give us a couple of games, just practice, let us get our feel, and then 2 or 3 weeks after we're allowed to play doubles, the game's on. You can have
Barry
6, 7, 8 cameras if you want, Peter. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tennis court for us to go up and have a wee hit about. So he's just building that in round about the mansion. We'll go up and get a wee hit.
That's a very good point there. It's a very good point, Roughie. I thought that was very magnanimous of Barry, saying we could have 7 or 8 cameras. So I'll carry 3 of them while I'm playing shots, and you carry the other 5. Listen, Roughie, it would be remiss of me not to mention Craig Brown. He's 80 today. Craigie Brown is 80, Roughie. And I'll tell you, the old boy puts you to shame. He is super fit, chirpy as ever, and a dream of a guy.
Yeah, he's certainly done it all. I was looking at his history today, obviously starting off at Clyde. I saw the team photograph, and believe it or not, that Clyde photograph, Stevie Archibald was in it. So obviously he started off his career. But no, I don't think anybody would have a bad word to say about Craig. You know, I think the Scotland teams that he had under his belt, he had a tremendous record. And anywhere he's been a success. So you can't take it away from him at all. He likes his wee start, and he likes, I think he knows the population of every nation that we play against, in case somebody brings it up that we're not as good as them. And then he tells you, how big a country they are. So he knows his stats, and I spoke to him once at a dinner, and he was saying a lot of people said I didn't give a lot of young players their chance at Scotland international level. I stuck by the Henrys and all them, but he didn't. He rhymed off at least 6 or 7 young players that he gave the chance at international football. So he was quite right to defend that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the one thing that the abiding memory I have of him as well, apart from all the clubs that he's managed, Barry, when I was working for Sky Sports, we used to sit just behind the dugout, and he would be standing there, and he'd be offering his, his usual, Craig, come on, well done, come on, you can do better. And behind him was Archie Knox. Now, talk about yin and yang. Craig's giving it positive, and Archie Knox is slaughtering every player on the pitch up at Pittodrie. It was so funny listening to the two of them.
Yeah, chalk and cheese, innit? I was one of the players, Roughie, that Craig Brown, I've got a lot to thank him for. He gave me my debut at Scotland at a young age. I just turned 19, and I remember him. I remember getting into the dressing room, and he just says to me, "Listen, go on out and prove during training, and if you show that you can produce, you'll play." And he was true to his word. So I've got a lot of time on. But Archie Knox, coming through the youth system at Rangers, Peter, he was. Oh, I had bad dreams about Archie Knox. I tell you. Bad dreams.
He's great company.
But he was great for me. He used to, it was really tough and really hard on me. But you know what? After I started playing and breaking in, he says it was a test for me. It was a test to see how mentally strong and see if I could cope with the demands that he put on me. Like every single morning, he would send me up for tea and toast, and I would come in with a toast, and he would throw it back at me. it's too soft, too much butter on it. I'd back up the stairs, I'd come back down with the tea stewed, get back upstairs. So I was up and down the marble staircase about 10, 15 times every morning. But again, I've got a lot to thank Archie for, because it was a mental thing with him. He made me mentally strong.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great company, Archie, and you think about the career he's
good
had
coach,
as well.
Peter.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Very good coach as well.
I haven't heard a bad word against him anywhere, yeah.
I enjoyed his coaching. He took most of the coaching when I was just breaking through. Walter maybe took Thursday, Friday leading up to the game the Saturday, and it was Archie who took the most of it the rest of the week. So some of his drills were excellent.
And again, the great thing about Craig on his birthday today, sometimes, you won't believe this, Tam, but sometimes you could be in a house, not your own house, just in a house somewhere else, and he could phone you and he'd know it was you. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, one time Roughie was in a house and the phone rang and Roughie picked it up and he went, "Hello, Roughie, is that you?" No, I mean, it was just. I mean, I know you get the fright of your life, Roughie, but he's just uncanny, the old boy, isn't he?
No, he's fantastic. He's a legend, an absolute legend. I remember speaking at dinner up in
What house was that, Roughie?
Don't go here.
What house was
that? I stopped in at a pensioner's house on the way home.
Brilliant, Roughie. Anyway, listen, back to the football. Tam, what about Jake Hastie? The potential to go and loan back to Motherwell. I mean, I'm sorry, but and I totally get the argument about the agencies. You've got a great chance, great opportunity, more money, but he's just one of those youngsters. He should have stayed. And I don't care that he joined Rangers. I'm just saying he should have stayed at Motherwell and started to develop. That I thought that was a mistake.
Yeah, listen, I think he was a very promising player, but he'd only played maybe one full season with Motherwell. He wasn't ready to go to a club, the size of Rangers. But as you said, it's difficult if his agent's saying, listen, Rangers are interested. He's maybe on £300 or £400 a week, and Rangers offer him $3,000 or $4,000 a week. And a 3-year contract. It's very difficult to say no, and you're going to keep playing at Motherwell and keep picking up that kind of money. So I understand why he left, and a lot of people argue that he shouldn't. But then you've got the flip side of it, where players have got to take their opportunity to go and earn good money and go to a bigger club. So, you'll have a few quid in the bank. He's still a young boy. He can go back to Motherwell again and try and rebuild his career, because I don't think he's ready to be breaking into a club the size of Rangers with the pressure that's on there and the players that they've got in front of them. So, yeah, I think he probably moved a little bit too early, but I don't blame the boy.
Yeah, Barry, you can understand it's a dilemma for many a young person who's got people in their ear saying, "Oh, you're going to be great. You're going to be an absolute superstar." You've played. I think he was lucky if he'd played 20 games for Motherwell that season.
That's right.
My memory serves me correct.
I think he came back on loan for Alloa. I think it was only the last half of the season he'd played, Peter.
Yeah.
But look, I totally get with Tam, and I agree with Tam. Look, when you're that young, and as I said, he's probably on £300, £400 a week, Peter. It's hard to turn down that sum of money when a club like Rangers come calling. But I says on the show, Peter, I would have liked to have seen him stay at Motherwell and play a full season, get another 35, 40 games under his belt, because he had a lot of potential. He's went missing the last year, but hopefully he can get back out and playing, because I think that there was a lot of potential in him. I think he can be a real good player in the future.
Yeah. Big call for Rangers. Just on the Rangers academy, there's been a few changes there, Barry. Peter Lovenkrands, your old teammate, he's now decided to pursue a career of coaching elsewhere. Speculation it might be China, the speculation that he just, obviously wants to try pastures new. But Kevin Thompson, for one man going out the door, suddenly Kevin Thompson finds him maybe another rung up the ladder.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that this morning when I read it, Peter. I know Peter Lovenkrands has been in there for about 18 months, and he's been pretty successful in terms of coaching the young boys. But listen, he's wanting to go out and try something different. Look, fair play to him. He wants to go and coach maybe in a different country. But one door closes, another door opens. And Tomo, who's got his own academy, and I still keep in contact with Tomo. He does really well with the young boys, coaching-wise. So it's a great opportunity for him to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, we wish him well. And Graham Murty, Roughie, is now the head of the Elite Academy Development. Graham Murty, I think he's fulfilled every role at Ibrox you could possibly think of.
Yeah, he was thrown into the deep end, and you have to say that I thought he handled himself pretty well, under the circumstances. And there was no way he was going to leave the club, and I don't think the club were going to let him go for doing what he did, during these troubled times. So, I think he's just bided his time. Again, he's supposed to be another very, very good coach with the youngsters. So, I think he's established in there now. And I met him a couple of times at some of the under-21 games, and he's really into it. So, I think it's just a reshuffle in the back room at Rangers just now. I think Stephen Gerrard's obviously wanting as many of the elite players to come through quicker than what they usually do, and they've just tried to reshuffle it to see how they can achieve that.
Peter,
they need to start coming through, Peter. I'll be honest with you. They need to start producing and getting them into the first team pretty quick. That's something that's been missing at Rangers for a long time. I've not seen a player come in and maintain and stay in the Rangers first team. So that's maybe a worry at the top end of be producing players. There is good players in there, but we're not seeing them go into the first team and stay there.
I think that Ross Wilson, Peter. I think Ross Wilson they're going down the Brentford model in England with having a B team. Brentford, they've got that setup where their B team plays a lot of games, maybe abroad, or plays other teams, are not in a league as such. So I think that Rangers are going to go down that kind of route where they're going to have a B team. Yeah, I do like that, Barry, because I think they're going to go and play. I think you've got to play. They're not going to play experienced players, Barry.
Yeah, but I think you've got to play in the league that your country has. You've got to play in a league against your Celtics and Dundee Uniteds, Hearts and Hibs. I do believe that, and I get the point as well that they go away and play the.
But they're going to be playing against other kids, other guys at similar age in that under-20 reserve league.
But that's where I go. They need to change the system. They need to change the way.
They need to change the system, but Rangers are taking it upon themselves, I think, to go and say, you know what, we're going to play our B team against other first teams or other experienced players to try and get more players through. And I quite like that system with the B system that Rangers are going down.
Yeah, and of course, let's look at the current climate. It's good that some clubs have a B team at the moment because some of them are contemplating putting some of the reserve teams not only in furlough, but just shelving it until they can get themselves out of the financial mess. So that's another part of the equation.
Peter, can I just say something regarding that? I just get the email through for the list for the PFA. It's astonishing, the size of the list, the amount of players, and I'm talking players probably 2000, 2001, 2002, right up to experienced boys. The amount of players that are out of contract without a job is frightening. I couldn't believe it when I received it. So that's a worry.
Yeah, and I think that's the point that, there's lots of underlying stories at the moment that are not coming to the fore because the drive now seems to be about the positivity of getting fans into the ground and getting people back out watching games and games taking place. But as Tam mentioned there, Roughie, that's just for me the tip of the iceberg. The financial problems that are still facing clubs, the absolute tsunami of misery which is coming with players unable to find clubs. And I'm talking good players that you would easily have in your squad or easily be starters who might be looking around late August thinking, where am I going to go?
Yeah, as we've said on the show on numerous occasions, and the guys will know this, it's the most horrible part of any season. It's the end of it, and who gets let go. And if you're lucky enough to get kept on, there's some of your mates are getting released and you feel sorry for them. But even more so in this climate, because there will be players who are getting let from go from clubs in a particular division who will think they're too good for another division, but they might have no option whatsoever to take that option, to rebuild their career. And we spoke about it the other day. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of them immigrating now to Australia and maybe America, because they'll see the state and they'll know the finances, what they've been on and what they're going to be on. So they'll have to decide what they're doing. And I think the lucky ones are the ones that we've had on the show who, before all this carry on has started, have openly admit, I need to go part-time. I need to look to the future. I need to look for my family. And some of these guys that have decided to go part-time are the ones that are maybe sitting there quite comfortable because they've made the decision themselves. They haven't had to have that decision made for them.
Peter, what I will say, there's a real mix. There's guys on that have got 250, 300 senior games under their belt, and you go right down to the kids at 18 who have not played a senior game. It's worrying.
That's the ones you worry for, Barry.
Players. That's the ones where they get lost 16 to 21.
Game.
They get kind of lost, and it's a worrying time for them. I couldn't believe it, Peter, when I received it. I was astonished the amount of players, and I'm talking, as you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Peter, really good players that could play at a real good level.
We had one on the other day there, Jamie McDonald, who says he would contemplate going to the Championship when I think he's still a Premier League goalkeeper. Listen, it's all open to debate. They've got that moment where they have to actually decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to drop my own expectations? Certainly financially, I think a lot of players will find that's what they're going to have to do. We've got Jurgen Klopp coming up. We've also got Lionel Messi, and we'll get the thoughts of the guys and more from you as well. But of course, there's an ongoing court case at the moment, and there's a new manager in at Hearts, and he's brought in Craig Gordon as well. So I thought I'd catch up with Paul Ritchie, who is out there in California, to get his thoughts on his old team Hearts. Well, I'm delighted to say our special guest on the programme is former Hearts defender Paul Ritchie. Paul, I always like to keep track of you. I hope you're safe and well. Are the family safe and well in the US of A?
Yes, we are, Peter. Thank you. It's a strange time in life at the moment, but yeah, we're all safe and enjoying life as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good news, because sometimes I look out and I just see the pouring rain in Scotland, and then I cheer myself up by looking at your Twitter account and seeing you walking across golden beaches.
That's it, golden beaches. We're very fortunate to be in a lovely part of the world, and as I said, the weather's substantially better here than it is in the UK. So yeah, every day's a good day.
Yeah, and to keep the weather theme, stormy waters for your old team Hearts, currently in court at this moment with Partick Thistle right this very moment. And I think Cove Rangers, Wraith Rovers and Dundee United are all arguing the point that their promotion should be legal. And if Hearts and Partick Thistle feel aggrieved, they should have gone to arbitration within the rules of the SPFL. So you can tell it's just gone into a crazy situation for your old team.
It has. I think Scottish football in general just now is on a real roller coaster. I think the whole COVID pandemic has really brought to light a real disharmony within Scottish football. I think, as I said, it's something that's never happened before. I think the way it's been dealt with is being really, really disappointing. I think it's things should have been done in a better and a more positive way, and really use this sort of pandemic to make Scottish football better. I think, as I said, there was opportunities there to restructure and give the supporters potentially something that they wanted for a number of years, but they haven't done that. And as I said, I think Hearts and Partick Thistle are well within their rights to do what they're doing. I think, as I said, to be relegated with 8 games to go, I think, as I said, is shocking, to be honest. Not to say that Hearts have been anywhere short of being very poor over the last 2 years, but when there's points there to be won, especially the number of points and the gap that was there, I think they've been harshly dealt with.
Does it sadden you, and do you still feel, and I suppose the answer to this is yes, do you still feel strongly that they have a legitimate case because of the injustice?
I think they do, and I think I've been following David Winnie, our sports lawyer, and he he seems to think they've got a case as well. As I said, I hoped it would never have got to this. I think common sense. You look at the number of other leagues within Europe and how they dealt with the situation. As I said, and it's a difficult one. As I said, things are starting to get back to normal in certain parts of the world. Certain leagues have managed to get themselves back on field. Why didn't the SPFL and Scottish football decide and hold off? And as I said, there's no rush for next season to start. As I said, I think you're talking about a large amount of money, but as I said, it's doing the right thing, and to give or to relegate. As I say, I think it's not relegation, because I think the season's got to be finished before you class it a relegation. But to have these two teams being asked to play in the division below without the season being finished, I think is very, very harsh.
Yeah, let's look to positives, if there is at all possible, when the season starts. Your old mate Robbie Nielsen's the manager again.
Yeah, incredible. As I said, Anne didn't take any time in pulling punches and sort of trying to get the team back on its feet. As I said, that's one thing she's been renowned for. She doesn't hold back. And as I said, the ripples that has caused, and the choice that Robbie made to come back to Hearts was surprising. As I said, I thought he'd done a fantastic job at Dundee United, and to have got them into the SPFL, one would have thought that his first role would have been to get them through the season. But as I said, Hearts came calling, and it was Robbie's decision to go back, which, as I said, time will tell if it's a good one. I think it's a great acquisition for Hearts. As I said, Robbie, the last time there, he was a successful manager before he moved. So that is a positive sign for Hearts at the moment.
Well, you'll know that I am very much in Hearts' camp about this injustice, but you'll also know that, Hearts' situation here, they want compensation. That's the first thing. I don't think they'll be reinstated, but if they do get some kind of compensation, I think they could bounce back pretty quickly with James Anderson in there, and Budge as well. They don't seem to be short of a bob or two, Paul, to give Robbie Nielsen if he's going to try and get them out of the Championship. Do you share that optimism?
Yes, I do. I think Robbie's been very well proven in that division, and he's done it twice. And as you say, if Anderson and Budge have got the money and they get a bit of compensation, then, as I said, it could be a fortunate season for Hearts with regards to the timing. I think they'll go in there as one of the strongest team in the league, and they have to bounce back right away. There's no second chances. It has to be immediately promotion back to the SPFL if that's how it plays out.
Yeah, we need a club of Hearts' stature, and the one thing about it is, as you know yourself, the fans are magnificent. They will get behind that club and back them with season tickets. When it's bouncing, I mean, it might be the Premiership's loss in my view, but it's certainly going to be the Championship's gain when you see that support.
Oh, for sure. As I said, I think Hearts are a massive club. They've been through the ringer over the last 5 to 6 years. When they went to the First Division last time, Championship, the fans follow the club. They are very loyal. They don't hold back in their criticism, but they definitely don't hold back in their support. So if you give them a product to be proud of, the Hearts players and management next season, disappointed as they may be of the division they're playing in, it'll still be a wonderful club to play for.
Yeah, what do you make of Craig Gordon's return?
I think that was a fantastic piece of business. I think Craig's proven at the highest level. As I said, he's been at Hearts before. He's played with Robbie, won the Scottish Cup at Hearts. Fantastic pedigree. I always knew when he was a young kid at Hearts he was going to be something special, and he's definitely done that. And I think someone of that calibre coming into the Hearts team at this moment in time is a fantastic building block. And I think that was Robbie's, as I said, one main goal to start with was to bring someone in. It has been a problem position for Hearts for a number of years, and now, as I said, Craig coming back will be fantastic for Hearts.
Yeah, well, if he's coming back at 37, surely there's hope for Ritchie and McManus to form the central defensive partnership again.
Yeah, you could have asked me that 10 years ago and I'd maybe been a little bit left in the legs. But 45 now, Pierre, as you said. I'd love to go back to Hearts in some capacity, but as a player, I think those days are numbered.
Yeah. What do you think, Robbie? What would you like to see him add? Apart, he's got the goalkeeper in place. What would you like to see added to that side? You know, when you look at, as you mentioned, how poor they were last season. I watched them on more than a few occasions, and they were a hard watch.
They were a hard watch, as I said, but we go back, as I said, that's our watching goes downhill. We go back to watch Hearts when anytime we're back, and as I said, over that Christmas period, it was awful. I think they've got a number of good players. I think what he does need to do is bring in local talent. I think he needs to promote the youngsters that are in the squad. Hearts last year were very, very wasteful in front of goal. I know Naismith's there. Naismith needs somebody there who can help him score the goals. I think look at what Dundee United did with Shankland. Someone like that, and potentially the lower divisions, could be a good opportunity for Hearts to get themselves back. They need to score goals. They've got some good defenders. It will be interesting to see who all comes back, whose contracts will be renewed. But I think for me, as a proper proven goal scorer, would be a great start as well.
Aaron Hickey, would you sell him to try and fund other players coming in, or would you try and keep him for the new season?
I don't think that's going to be their decision. I think it'll be depending on the level of interest. I know that he's been linked with some marvellous clubs, and I think it'll become an interesting bit of business for Hearts when an offer comes in. I think the young man's been outstanding, a beacon of light in a couple of dark seasons. But as I said, as soon as a substantial offer comes in for him, I think for his own personal development, I think it would be advisable, I think, to take it when it's there, because you never know in football. As I said, I think he's been outstanding over the last 2 years, and the level of club that is shown an interest. But until that concrete offer comes in, then we will have to wait.
Yeah. Paul, I hope you and your family stay safe and well. Fingers crossed when we all get out of this and you're back in Edinburgh, I might meet up with you for a pint of beer. I'll buy for a change. How about that?
It's fantastic, Peter. You look after yourself.
Yeah, Paul Ritchie. A lot of time for the guy. And again, he's talking there about the dilemma, Tam. Aaron Hickey. He's another man that I think Hearts will be, trying their best to hold on to over the next month or two.
Yeah, listen, he's been, as Paul said there, he's been terrific the last couple of seasons. Hearts have been dreadful. He's been playing a really poor team, but he's always shown up well. He played either full-back position. He's still got a little bit to do to develop physically. I thought he maybe get bullied a little bit at times, overpowered, but he's still a young kid. He's still got to fill out and fill into his frame sort of thing. But I think, as Paul said, likes of Man City and that, these are clubs that were linked with Aaron Hickey, even Celtic as well. There's some big clubs in there looking at him. And I think for his own development, it's very hard to turn down a club, such of that size when he's going to be going playing the Championship. So I think it'd be good for Hearts to sell him, get a few quid in for him and use it to strengthen other parts of the squad, and a great opportunity for the young boy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If he plays, got to play regularly. It's the Jake Hasty thing that we were talking about earlier. Listen, just before we go, lads, a couple of things. Of course, Thursday, we've been watching some of the football. Tam says he's not into it, Roughie. I might watch Man City Liverpool, though, Roughie. That's a tasty one, even though there's nothing really at stake.
No, lots of big players in that game. That's the kind of game you'd want to see. Hopefully there's plenty of goals. I hope they do play their full-strength teams. I know Liverpool probably celebrating nearly every day since they won the league, but I hope it's very competitive. I hope it's competitive, and I'll certainly be watching it as well.
Yeah, Tam, you're giving it a miss because obviously you just like games with fans in and that. You're not going to watch Man City Liverpool.
No, I'm not going to watch it tonight, Peter. I'm going to watch a box set. That'll be a dead rubber for me. Liverpool been out in the bevy all week. Man City, nothing really to play for. Nah, no for me.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Tam. It's on tomorrow night. I'm just saying.
Oh, is it tomorrow night?
Don't need. No, yes, tomorrow night. Don't worry about watching it tonight. It's tomorrow night. But nevertheless, strangely enough, before I get to Barry, I'm going to hear from Jurgen Klopp because he says it's a huge honour that Manchester City will be out there giving Liverpool a guard of honour.
It's an English tradition, of a Premier League tradition, so we take it. It's a nice gesture, 100%. I wouldn't need it, to be honest, because we go there and want to play a football game, and either way we want to win the football game and don't celebrate things what happened the week before or stuff like that. But again, it's a nice gesture, but that's it pretty much.
I could listen to him all day. I mean, who cares about a guard of honour? It's a great way, Barry, for fans to noise each other up, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm the same, Peter. I love listening to him. He's so passionate, and he's the type of manager that I would certainly love to have played under. But see, going on Man City, I think that's a touch of class. Look, two rivals, been at it the last couple of years, and to give them a guard of honour's a touch of class for me.
Now, calm your jets. That's a contradiction in its terms there right away.
No, it wouldn't happen up here, but...
well, I was just about to say to you, if it's a touch of class for Man City, Tam, it's going to be a touch of class for other clubs, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There's a few have not done it. I'm just saying.
See when he's the minute you opened your mouth there, Barry, I thought, he's getting down.
No, but it is. But listen, you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, it's a different world up here.
Absolutely, we're backward. It's as simple as that. Anyway, apart from anything else, there's a man last night, just a fantastic player, and one of the world's greatest players. One of the world's greatest players. I'm just saying that for you two dimwits in the middle who are under the age of 45. But Messi is just a joy to watch. He scored his 700th goal in a 2-2 draw with Atletico Madrid for Barcelona, and he did it by scoring a penalty with a Panenka. It doesn't get any better. Lionel Messi, 700 goals.
Lionel Messi scored his 700th career goal last night with a chip penalty against Atletico Madrid. He becomes only the 7th player to reach that milestone, with greats including Romario, Pele and Gerd Müller, as well as his contemporary Cristiano Ronaldo, already on the list. Last night's strike made it 630 in 724 games for Barca, whilst he has notched 70 in 138 for Argentina. Looking at the breakdown of his efforts, his left foot has scored 582 times alone, with a mere 24 headers to the diminutive forward. His famed free kicks have found the back of the net 52 times, along with 90 penalties. Now, at the age of 33, how many more can Messi get?
92 with his right foot is not really good, Barry, is it? He needs to work on that right foot.
Yeah, he needs to work on his head on as well. 52 with his head. It's not good enough, Peter. Not good enough.
Yeah.
No, but
absolutely.
What a player. I'm just looking at that record there. Jeez, that guy he's phenomenal. He is. He's an unbelievable player, and he's the best that I've ever witnessed.
It's like PlayStation stats, that, isn't it? It's like playing a computer. It's 624 goals in 750 games.
Crazy amount. In 33, he's got another couple of years left in him. That's for sure, and that's only going to go up.
Do you think there's anybody big enough in the Barcelona dressing room when things aren't going to go well in the dressing room to say, Messi, got to start picking people up? I think it's going to start picking up runners.
To be honest, I think you would let him away with it. When you would just say, listen, it's all right, you can do what you want.
Do you know what's amazing, number 10 jersey after Messi, Peter?
Oh, I mean, that is the thing. Do you know the great thing? right now, we are... I noticed Tony Watt, who we've had on the show, was arguing about, the qualities of Ronaldinho. We were very lucky in this last 20 years that when you watch Ronaldinho, who I thought was a genius. I mean, I know some people thought he was a circus act and a sand dancer, but he was World Footballer of the Year and he was absolutely sensational. But Barcelona were very lucky because they knew that Messi was coming through. So he comes through. You've got Ronaldo, who is just one of the best ever. Ronaldo, for me, has now pushed himself into the top 5 players ever in the history of the game, along with Messi, because I just think the boy, like Messi, he's just been brilliant. Roughie, can you remember us being in the Nou Camp and Messi was just walking around the park as if he wasn't involved, and then he'd spring into life, and then bang, Celtic were in big trouble in that game. Do you remember him just sauntering about as if it was a training match?
You would think he was just he was moving into areas that he knew the ball was going to eventually come. And he was reading what was going to happen to his other players, and people would say, "Well, why is he there? He's not anywhere near the ball. He's not active. He's not." And then all of a sudden, he is active, and all of a sudden he's scoring a goal. Right? And any time you give him the ball, that's what he generally does. And he was just a wizard with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, and lots of people talking about lots of different players. Maradona, they're all worthy of it. Picking a top five is getting ever so difficult. I think the joy of it all, Tam, is we're alive and lucky enough to be able to talk about these players. I just wish that more people could have seen the likes of more videos of Pelé, more coverage of Pelé, more coverage of Cruyff at the time when they were absolutely at their peak, because that would have maybe get a greater insight into it, because we live in a broadcast generation now where every game is almost on social media. You can see everybody kicking a ball, but if you had those two players at their peak as well, you'd have been like, wow.
Yeah, listen, we're very lucky, as you said, to live through Lionel Messi and Ronaldo. Even the other Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, for me, he's got to be in the top five. He was an unbelievable player. Romario, Ronaldinho, some absolutely brilliant players in our generation, likes of myself and Barry in the younger generation. But Maradona, Cruyff, Pelé, guys like that were probably before myself and Barry, and we've only seen occasional videos and stuff. So it's hard to compare the two generations. Maradona. Look at it now with football now. You're not allowed to get near anybody. It's a non-contact sport at times. Maradona get booted all over the place. How good would he have been with a wee bit more protection for referees and different things? He might have scored 700 or 800 goals as well. So it's hard to compare different generations.
And for the benefit of older generation again, Roughie, there are people out there who are probably kicking the phone, kicking the telly, kicking their social media right now, saying, "Hey, any of you guys going to give a mention to the likes of George Best, Alfredo Di Stefano, Ferenc Puskas?"
Yeah, I mean, when you say a top five there, I think once you opened in a debate, you would struggle to get a definitive top five going through all the years, because there's that many wonderful players. And another player I really liked was the boy at Real Madrid, Raul. I thought he was a tremendous player. I thought he was fantastic. His record speaks for itself as well.
Yeah, and of course, over the course of the programme, Roughie on Top Forum, you could even get a definitive list at some point in the future. But I'm not going to dwell on his wonderful pronunciation in the English language. I absolutely love it. What I am going to say is we're all going to decant to our living rooms and have some wine. Roughie has just gone through the entire Oxford Dictionary today. He's been on top form, and that is why we love him. It's as simple as that. Amazingly, Roughie, Ozark has got a fourth season. Did you see that in the news this morning? So that's something for us to watch in a box set, Roughie.
It's one of the ones that's bypassed me, that you just keep talking about it. So maybe
You've
I
not
really
watched
have
it?
to start at the beginning. Oh, well, Barry put me onto the Pearl. There's about 20 episodes. I'm only about number 7.
I know how you like it.
Because he keeps watching the same episode. I know it.
Look at the sex scenes in that, big man.
Well, to be fair, Tam, if you had been with Roughie for the last 8 years, he's never watched a box set that has a plot, a thriller, action, car chases. That's not for Roughie, by the way.
He just needs a dolly bird in it.
He just needs Gina Lola Brigida walking through, and the big man's hooked. He's the type of guy that.
Can I just say, Ozark, is that fourth series out?
No, it's coming out next year.
Next summer, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm still having nightmares about Darlene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, she's a
Yeah.
scary
So
woman,
that-
by the way.
So there you are. We always give you box sets and sports documentaries to watch and videos along the way. So that's the joy of it all in lockdown. Over the course of it, amazingly, I think we might be heading to week 14. But since we brought you lockdown, I want to say on behalf of Barry and Tam and Roughie and all the team who form the PLZ Soccer Football Show, we want to thank you for your support, because quite simply we brought you lots of special guests from every club right across the board. We've covered Scottish football, and thank you for making it Scotland's #1 football show, because the figures are there for everyone to see. Your support's been magnificent. Don't forget to like, share and follow us on our Facebook. We're going to be giving you the chance on Monday to win your very own iPad. We'll give away an iPad. We're going to be giving away some t-shirts as well, just to say thank you for all the support that you've given us. And if you are on YouTube as well, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no hidden cost in it whatsoever. You just get a chance to join in the banter with us, tell us about your favourite players, your favourite games. And I think it's been magnificent, the support, Roughie, that we've had. And the figures we're getting are astronomical and phenomenal.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning of the show, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. You know, there's people from all over the world that are really enjoying it, and we've given them something to enjoy, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to the new season, guys, because with every new season, Tam, you might not be aware of this, but with every new season comes more new technology for us and more chances for Roughie to kick us off air when he pulls the plug out mistakenly at the start of the season.
I can't imagine Roughie with any other technology. It's going to be a nightmare. He's only just discovered the internet's been invented.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic. And we're still looking for a venue. And the word from Nicola, once she says it's safe for us all to go out and get together again, we'll be looking for a venue for our end of season, start of season party. We need to find somewhere where we can all safely get together. It's going to be fantastic. I did suggest Dublin, but Barry was a wee bit worried about that, Tam. Wee bit worried about taking him to Dublin.
That's
you know?
right.
Well,
No,
with
too staunch. He's too staunch for Dublin. Too staunch.
Yeah. with a protective mask on, Barry, you'll be fine.
Listen, that's something that we've missed. Our end of the season. I always like the end of the season. Day out,
Jersey,
night out. It's Well, listen, that's
a good shout. That's a shout, by the way. I know people in
It'll be
Jersey.
good.
Jerseys.
It'll be good to get everybody together, because we've not been together for what, as you say, 14, 15 weeks. So it's been a long time.
It has indeed, and for everybody out there for your support, thank you very much. Roughie, just last word on it. Would you go to Jersey to decant a few bottles of wine?
Yeah, that wouldn't be going to. Is it St Helier or Relads Bay or whatever it's called? Yeah, I would go anywhere at this moment in time. I would go anywhere.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Somewhere.
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry about the pronunciation, Roughie. Just we're going to Jersey, okay?
Yeah.
Jersey for the end of season party. Anyway, thanks to everyone for watching the programme, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.